Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to Samuel Luckhurst, Barcelona are interested in signing Marcus Rashford. Liverpool are admirers of Marcus Rashford. Real Madrid have also been interested in Rashford, and PSG have been in for him before. Rashford has been dropped from the England squad. The other week, it said Marcus Rashford is considering his future at Man United, as he is concerned about his lack of playing time. Rashford is a good player overall, but Rashford has endured a lot of poor games this season. He hasn't been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. Rashford missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder injury. Revert back to earlier on this season, he had a minor leg injury. Rashford's contract at Manchester United expires next year. Rashford receives over £200,000 a week. He has been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016, and since then he's gone on to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. Now, I want to give you some news on Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is Manchester United's preferred managerial candidate. Erik ten Hag has already made it clear that he wants to move abroad. Earlier on this season, Erik ten Hag told Ajax he wants to leave at the end of the season. Revert back to the other week, it said Erik ten Hag was learning English, and he has his heart set on a move to Man United. There's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag get recommended in. You know, it would be good for Erik ten Hag to come and experience the Premier League. He's not yet managed in the Premier League. And I think Erik ten Hag would suit the trappings of the club. He'd get the best out of these group of players, and he would be capable of winning trophies. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's developed the young players well. He's won a couple of Eredivisie titles with them, and revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals, and Erik ten Hag has been the Ajax manager for around 5 years. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. His contract at Ajax expires next year. Before Ajax, he managed Utds. Before then, he managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then, he managed Go Ahead Eagles. So there you go. Mauricio Pochettino, he's been relentlessly linked with a managerial role at Man United. The other week, it said Mauricio Pochettino was on the verge of being sacked by PSG after PSG got knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid. It said Mauricio Pochettino will seek to become Manchester United's next manager. Pochettino has been the PSG manager for over a year. He has won a French Cup with them. His contract at PSG expires next year. Before PSG, Pochettino managed Tottenham. He endured a 5.5-year managerial tenure with them. Back in 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. At one point, he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. Tottenham made a bad mistake sacking him at the time, and before Tottenham managed Southampton, he managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League, and he only enjoyed a short managerial tenure with them, and before Southampton he managed Espanyol. Pochettino would do a good job if he became Man United's next manager. He knows the Premier League well. Problem is though, Pochettino's hardly won anything. Revert back to when Man United sacked Jose Mourinho. Man United should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. And there's been a lot of narratives coming out about Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel is wanted by Man United. Yesterday, like updated you, it said Thomas Tuchel is now Man United's number one target to be the next manager. Thomas Tuchel is a very good manager. He's the Chelsea manager. He's been the Chelsea manager for over a year. Chelsea appointed him in last year. He's got a contract with Chelsea until 2024. Tuchel has won the Champions League with Chelsea, and he's got them to 2 finals. He got them to the Carabao Cup final this season and got them to the FA Cup final last season. Chelsea lost both finals. Before Chelsea, Tuchel managed PSG. Before then managed Borussia Dortmund. Before then managed Mainz 05. And before then managed Augsburg. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. The managers we've sacked since Ferguson, we sacked David Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, we sacked Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And Man United are not really known as a sacking football club. Ralph Rangnick, he's been Manchester United's interim manager for almost 4 months now. He's Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season, then he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Earlier on this season, it said Rangnick wants the permanent Man United job. I don't think we'll offer him the job on a permanent basis. Man United can't win a trophy now this season. Man United recently got knocked out of the Champions League by Atletico Madrid. So it's another trophyless season for Man United. Man United have not won a trophy for 5 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. We're now focusing on finishing in the top 4 this season. Well, earlier on this season, Rangnick said his aim is for Man United to finish in the top 4. But finishing in the top 4 is not a successful season. Rangnick, he's lost 4 games in all competitions as Manchester United's interim manager. Like I said, I've got a lot of respect for Rangnick. I think he's a very good coach. Well, he's a German coach. The vast majority of German coaches are very good. Rangnick has enjoyed 1 transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Man United enjoyed a very disappointing January transfer window because Man United did not make any signings. We should have let Lingard and Henderson leave, but we blocked their exits. On the other side of things, Man United let around 8 players leave in January. And we had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of January as well. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow, and earlier on this season Rangnick recommended Ewan Sharping as an assistant coach and analyst. He also recommended Chris Armisen as an assistant coach, and he recommended Saz Chalenzin as a sports psychologist. Rangnick, he's inheriting players who other managers have brought in. None of this squad is Rangnick's. In the last 10 years, Manchester United have spent around 1.4 billion. And in the last 10 years, Man United have only won 4 trophies. Manchester United have not won the Premier League since 2013. Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired. A lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. We've got to accept that no one is going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club. Alex Ferguson, greatest manager of all time. Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but he didn't settle in straight away, Ferguson, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United for around 26 years, so reflecting on that, he was a long-serving manager. Ferguson retired almost 10 years ago. The Glazers, they've been at the club for a long time. They've owned Manchester United for around 16 years. The Glazers bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. We've got to get the Glazers out of the club because they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. It was good news from Man United perspective that earlier on this year Woodward stepped down. Ed Woodward was one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time. He was accountable for how poor our recruitment was. Ed Woodward was at Manchester United for 17 years. Earlier on this year, Richard Arnold replaced Ed Woodward, as the new chief executive. In the summer of this year, I'm expecting Manchester United to make signings. In the summer of this year, I'm expecting Man United to sign a midfielder and a striker. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. Cavani, he will leave Man United in the summer. He's been linked to a move to La Liga. He's also been linked to a move to Brazil. Cavani's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Cavani hasn't started the last 2 games, but he did come on. Not so long ago, he had a groin injury. Cavani's had quite a few injuries since he signed for the club. Jesse Lingard, I'm expecting him to leave in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Lingard should have left in January, like I've mentioned. Lingard has been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy and that, but he doesn't really get in the team. I'm expecting Donny van der Beek and Martial to go permanently this summer. At the moment, Van der Beek's out on loan with Everton and Martial's out on loan with Sevilla. Ronaldo may leave in the summer. I'm expecting Juan Mata to leave in the summer as well. Mata's out of contract in the summer. Mata, doesn't get in the team. He lost his place in the team a while ago. Mata's had a good career at Man United. Mata's been a Manchester United player for 8 years. Manchester United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014, got him for 37.1 million. Paul Pogba, good chance he'll be leaving Man United in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Not so long ago, Pogba's trainer claimed that Pogba will leave Old Trafford. By the way, Paul Pogba's house recently got burgled during Manchester United's game against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League last 16 second leg. Pogba is actually interested in a Juventus return. Well, Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he re-signed for Man United, and earlier on this season he said Pogba was open to Premier League offers if he leaves Man United this summer. Paul Pogba does have a good relationship with Ralph Rangnick. Pogba hasn't done that well in his last 4 or 5 games. Earlier on this season he was out with injury for a while. Well, he's endured quite a few injuries since he re-signed for the club, so he is injury prone. You know, Man United paid £89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, our most expensive signing at the moment. This season has been Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's played over 200 games since he re-signed, and he's won 3 trophies at the club so far. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Matic, I'm expecting him to leave in the summer as well. Jones and Bai will leave in the summer because they don't really get in the team. Man United will look to sell Harry Maguire in the summer because Harry Maguire is not good enough to represent the club. I can't understand how Harry Maguire is still Manchester United captain. A lot of Man United fans have been demanding for the captaincy to be taken off him. Earlier on this season, Rangnick said that Maguire will remain Man United captain until the end of the season. Prior to the City game at the Etihad, it said Harry Maguire was upsetting his teammates in the dressing room. Man United overpaid for Maguire, got him for £80 million. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he's the second most expensive signing at the club. He's been at United now over 2 years, and Maguire's endured quite a few injuries since he came to the club. And Wan-Bissaka, we could look to sell him in the summer because he's not our first choice right back under Rangnick, you know, Diego Dalot is. And we'll look to offload Dean Henderson because Dean Henderson is our second choice keeper. He's a good keeper but doesn't get in goal much because last summer De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back. You know, this season Henderson has only made 3 appearances. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.